In a crowded alley tucked behind a fancy theater in the heart of Meowhauden lived a skinny gray cat named Whiskers. His fur was always dusty, his belly always growling, and his spirit constantly bruised. Yet despite it all, Whiskers danced. Every night, under flickering streetlights, he twirled. His paws glided on wet concrete. His tail curled with every spin. In his mind, he wasn't just a stray, he was a star. But no one else saw it. The other alley cats mocked him. "There goes the dancing fool again," sneered Tomcat Rex, the self-proclaimed leader of the alley. "Dancing doesn't fill your stomach," laughed a snobby Persian named Luna. "You're embarrassing us all," hissed Fang, a scarred fighter who ruled the trash cans. They pushed him away from food piles. They tore up his cardboard stage. They stomped on his dreams. But Whiskers kept dancing, because every night when he danced, he heard his mother's voice echo in his memory. "When you dance, baby, the world disappears. That means you were born to shine." One night, after a particularly cruel prank, where the others poured fish guts all over his favorite stage, Whiskers limped to the back of the alley and collapsed in tears. And then he heard music, soft, elegant piano, a melody like moonlight. He lifted his head and saw a glowing window. Inside was a young human girl dancing in perfect rhythm. Her movements were graceful, poised, confident. Whiskers stood, and though his paw was bleeding and his ribs ached, he danced too. Inside, the girl paused. She tilted her head. She saw him and smiled. The next night, she opened the window, left a bowl of food, a soft towel, and a note that said, "You're amazing." Her name was Mira, a ballet student who lived above the theater. Every night after practice, she came to the window, played music, and watched Whiskers dance. And together, they began to choreograph. Whiskers learned to leap, to spin, to express emotions in motion. Joy, sorrow, triumph. He wasn't just dancing now. He was telling stories. He felt reborn. His body grew stronger, his steps more confident. Even when the alley cats glared or mocked, he held his head high. Mira believed in him, and for Whiskers, that was everything. One night, Mira whispered through the window, "I want the world to see what I see in you." Then, one day, a poster blew into the alley. Citywide talent contest. Winner performs live at the Grand Whisker Gala. Whiskers' heart pounded. He imagined the stage, the lights, the applause. Mira looked at him. "You have to try," she whispered, but Tomcat Rex and the others laughed. "You, a mangy stray? You think you belong at the gala?" They tried to steal the poster, burn it, lock him in a dumpster, but Mira found him, cleaned him, encouraged him. "You're not just a dancer, Whiskers. You're a story waiting to be seen." For days and nights they rehearsed. Mira mimicked the judge's critique style, while Whiskers refined every paw placement. They crafted a piece that told his entire journey, from alley to ambition. The theater sparkled like a dream. Rich cats lined the velvet seats, lights blinded. The judges waited. Backstage, other cats wore costumes and makeup. Whiskers had nothing, just old scars and trembling legs. Next up, Whiskers the street cat. Some in the audience chuckled. And then the music began. A soft piano, a spotlight, and Whiskers danced. He danced his pain, his hunger, his loneliness. Then he danced hope, dreams, love. He danced like his life depended on it. Because it did. When the music ended, there was silence. Then a roar of applause. Cats stood. Judges cried. Cameras flashed. "This," said the head judge, wiping a tear, "is what art looks like." Whiskers became a sensation overnight, but his journey had begun long before the world was watching. Once, he was nothing more than a scrawny kitten with dirt under his paws and dreams too big for the back alley where he was born. His fur was matted, his belly often empty. and every day was a battle between survival and surrender. He slept beneath rusted fire escapes and danced only for himself, for the moon, and for the memories of a mother who once told him, "You were made for more, little one. Don't let the world convince you otherwise." Back then, no one believed in a dancing cat. They scoffed, rolled their eyes, or laughed outright. Tomcat Rex called him a joke. Fang tripped him every chance he got. Luna, elegant and cruel, dismissed him with a sneer. "Stay in your lane, alley cat." But Whiskers kept moving, kept spinning, kept leaping, because dancing was the only thing that made his broken world feel whole. Then came Mira, the girl with fire in her soul and worn-out slippers on her feet. She found Whiskers shivering behind a bakery one rainy night. She didn't scream. She didn't chase him off. She just sat there, humming softly, her hands open, her eyes kind. From that night on, they danced in secret, girl and cat, under street lamps and in empty parking lots, where the rhythm of the rain was their orchestra. She taught him form. He taught her freedom. They understood each other in a way words never could. Two misfits, dreaming beyond their circumstances. And then, everything changed. A viral video, just 30 seconds long. Mira had recorded one of their impromptu rooftop performances. Whiskers mid-leap, tail curved like calligraphy, silhouetted against the setting sun. She posted it online with a caption, "The world needs to see this." By morning, millions had. Whiskers exploded across the globe. News anchors couldn't get enough of the feline Fred Astaire. Talent scouts sent offers. Producers fought for interviews. One week, he was dodging rats in alleyways. The next, he was on a private jet, heading to a televised dance competition as a surprise guest. He didn't just win, he enchanted. And the fame, it came fast and fierce. Magazine covers, Broadway cameos, a perfume line named Pas de Deux. He starred in music videos alongside pop stars, hosted a charity gala, and even performed for royalty, who wept openly during his rendition of The Last Leap. He was no longer Whiskers the Stray. He was Whiskers the Legend. But through it all, he never forgot the one person who had believed in him before the world ever cared. Mira. He ensured she got her scholarship, an anonymous donation that miraculously covered her tuition, housing, and point shoes for years to come. She was soon performing at his side, sharing the stage like they had once shared street corners. Together, they transformed every performance into a story of resilience and joy. And what of those who once doubted him? Tomcat Rex, the bully who once jeered from the shadows, now wore sunglasses and a tailored black suit, proudly introducing himself as head of security for the most famous feline on Earth. Fang, his old rival, arrived one day to rehearsal with a worn notebook and trembling paws. "Teach me," he whispered. "I want to feel what you feel when you move." Even Luna, once icy and aloof, sent a bouquet of white lilies with a handwritten note. "I was wrong. Your light doesn't dim others. It ignites them. Forgive me." And Whiskers did, because for him, the spotlight was never the goal. It was the platform, a stage not just to dazzle, but to inspire. He founded the Alley Ballet in the very place he had once been mocked and kicked aside. The old alley was reborn. Murals of dancers on the brick walls, music echoing from repurposed garages, mirrors reflecting bright eyes and brighter futures. Kittens of every shape, stripe, and color twirled and tumbled with joy, learning from the one who had danced his way out of despair. Whiskers poured everything into that school, every paycheck, every ounce of fame, because he believed that if one little cat could change his stars, then others could too. And on one unforgettable evening, after a sold-out performance that earned 12 standing ovations and left the audience in tears, Whiskers slipped away from the after party and climbed to the rooftop of the Grand Opera House. The city shimmered below him like a sea of dreams. He looked up at the stars, at the same sky he used to dance beneath when no one was watching. "I did it, Mom," he whispered, voice trembling with emotion. "They see me now." A soft breeze rustled his fur. Somewhere, a violin played a distant melody. And then, without warning, he leapt. One last elegant twirl under the moonlight. His tail curled like a question mark against the velvet sky. And for a moment, it felt like the world stopped spinning, just to watch him fly. He had danced his way from the gutters of grief to the grandest stage in the world.